Prime Minister Keir Starmer has sparked outrage across the country after publicly complaining that he hasn't had a holiday since taking office in July. The statement, coming just weeks after his landslide victory, has left many questioning whether the Labour leader is truly in touch with the struggles facing millions of Britons. But first, hit the like button and subscribe for more content on the latest political drama. As the UK grapples with rising costs of living, slashed fuel allowances, and a government facing increasing scrutiny over its policies, Starmer's comments have only added fuel to the fire. Is this the leader we thought would turn things around? Let's dive into the details and break down the growing controversy. Starmer, who has been in office for just over 11 weeks, expressed his frustration at not being able to get away for a break since becoming Prime Minister. He candidly admitted, "It would have been good to have got away over the summer." However, his remarks have been met with widespread public criticism, particularly from pensioners and lower-income households, many of whom have been hit hardest by recent government policies. The public's reaction has been swift and unforgiving. Another remarked, "He's lucky he can afford a holiday, while many of us can't even afford to heat our homes." It's no surprise that his comments hit a nerve, with the government cutting essential support such as the winter fuel payments, once a lifeline for many pensioners. Starmer's holiday grumble comes across as tone-deaf. His critics have been quick to point out the luxury of even considering a vacation when so many can't afford basic necessities. A concerned pensioner voiced their anger. No chance now of using the £300 winter fuel allowance to fund a cold weather break in some nice warm hotel, or a sunny beach to ease the rheumatic joints. While the Prime Minister may feel overworked after less than 3 months in office, many feel his frustrations pale in comparison to the real-life struggles of ordinary people. Starmer's attempt to present himself as a leader dedicated to tackling Britain's problems has been undermined by these remarks. Public sentiment is rapidly shifting, and many are questioning whether the man they elected is as focused on the country's needs as he should be. In a time when Labour has been eager to display its packed agenda, cancelling the summer recess to push through early policy changes, like axing the winter fuel payments, Starmer's complaint about not taking a break feels like a slap in the face to those affected by these very decisions. Adding to this, the government's quick actions in response to the Southport riots, including fast-tracked court hearings and daily Cobra meetings, were intended to show strength and control. But for many, Starmer's recent statements indicate a detachment from the harsh reality faced by the public. As one commentator bluntly put it, "He can't help himself, can he? A man of virtue and service, unloved by an uncaring public, and after less than 3 months in the top job, he needs a holiday." Meanwhile, Labour is facing even more criticism as Starmer doubles down on warnings that the upcoming budget will be tough. Already under fire for slashing the winter fuel payments, Starmer's Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, is preparing to announce further difficult decisions in the October budget. The public and Labour's critics are bracing for potential tax hikes and further cuts to welfare, with fears that these decisions could disproportionately affect the most vulnerable in society. In recent months, public trust in Starmer's economic leadership has been wavering. The combination of severe inflation and rising interest rates has placed many households in precarious financial positions. People who once viewed Labour as a party that stood up for the working class are now asking hard questions. Many are worried that the upcoming budget may introduce further cuts to other forms of social welfare, which could push struggling families over the edge. There's also growing anxiety about the potential for increased taxes on middle-income earners. Starmer's team has hinted at raising taxes for wealthier Britons, but critics warn that in practice, the burden may fall on middle-class families already grappling with mortgage rate hikes and increased utility bills. The political opposition has wasted no time in seizing the narrative, with several Conservative MPs calling the Labour government out of touch, accusing Starmer of breaking election promises to build a fairer society. The backlash against these proposed cuts and potential tax increases has also spilled into local Labour branches. Several constituencies have reported internal disputes between local councillors and MPs over how to defend policies that seem to directly harm their traditional voter base. A Labour councillor in the Midlands, who preferred to remain anonymous, remarked, "This isn't what we campaigned for. People trusted us to protect the vulnerable, and now it looks like we're doing the opposite. Our hands are tied." Trade unions and party activists are expected to oppose these cuts vehemently, putting further pressure on Starmer's government. General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Frances O'Grady, has already warned Labour against making working families pay for what she describes as the economic mismanagement of the past decade. She went further to say, "The Labour Party must not become the party of austerity, or they will face the wrath of those who once believed in their cause." Meanwhile, protests have erupted across the country. Organised by pensioners' rights groups and welfare campaigners, these demonstrations have garnered significant media attention. Outside Parliament, protesters held signs with slogans like "Winter warmth, not government cuts" and "Starmer's promises, hot air, cold homes." These grassroots movements are gaining momentum, putting even more strain on Labour's leadership. Critics argue that the protests are not just about cuts, but about a growing disillusionment with Starmer's leadership and the direction of his government. While the Prime Minister has vowed to protect public services from further austerity and promised that no tax rises will hit working people, his personal approval ratings have taken a massive hit. In fact, they've plummeted to the lowest they've ever been, even dropping below those of former Conservative Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who resigned in disgrace after his handling of the economy contributed to the financial crisis. Labour's internal turmoil was only exacerbated by the recent remarks of MP Jeevan Sandhu. He stirred further controversy by claiming he was comfortable with the government's decision to slash the winter fuel payments. Appearing on GB News, Sandhu's dismissive remarks, "If you're struggling, we have pension credit," left many pensioners fuming. Camilla, a host on the show, fired back, saying, "I can't believe you're sitting here saying you're happy with pensioners losing £300 of support." His words were not only insensitive, but they were seen as further proof that many Labour MPs no longer understand the struggles of their core voters. Sandhu's comments only further highlight the growing disconnect between the Labour government and the people they serve. The backlash is growing, and Starmer's team is struggling to contain the fallout from their policy decisions. Labour activists, many of whom fought hard to help Starmer win his landslide victory, are now raising concerns about the direction of the party under his leadership. In just a few short months, Starmer's government has managed to alienate a significant portion of the electorate. His complaints about missing a holiday, paired with unpopular policies like the winter fuel payment cuts, have left many questioning his priorities. The Prime Minister, who promised change and a new direction for the UK, is now facing one of the toughest challenges of his leadership, proving he is not out of touch with the everyday struggles of ordinary Britons. Labour's message has always been about standing up for working people, but as pensioners lose essential support and the country faces rising costs, Starmer's credibility is on the line. With a tough budget looming, his government will need to make difficult decisions that balance fiscal responsibility with the promises they made to the public. So what do you think? Has Starmer lost touch with the realities of running the country? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more political updates.